Well, hello again. It's Saturday the 21st of March and I'm on the PSP kind of north of Leederville, and this thing popped up in my Facebook feed this week saying that Main Roads are going to be resurfacing a section of the PSP here and there's going to be a detour. So I thought I'd come and have a look at the signage and map and other information set up for this. Look, resurfacing paths like this is always going to be tricky. There's always going to be a detour. The detour itself might be a bit rubbish, but what I'm interested in is the signage. Okay, there's a sign there, there's a variable message sign there. Advertising it's coming up. Great. PSP works 8 March, more info, roads, gov.au, March, April. Why am I saying this? Because it's half hidden behind a sign. Great idea to put a variable message sign out, but why put it behind a tree? If they moved that forward a couple of metres and put it in front of the tree, it would actually be visible to people coming down here. Or it's just basic checks like that that need to be done. It's like, 10 out of 10 for putting in a sign, 1 out of 10 for checking that it's visible for people coming around the corner. So I guess we're averaging about 5.5 at the moment, which is not a great score. Now, the last time the section of this PSP was closed off for this, there was an on-road detour. I did some videos on it. I thought the signage and the layout was a bit of a debacle for cyclists, which has been unfortunate, but hopefully today will be better. Right, this variable message sign, very visible. PSP works late March to April, that's right, and I've just passed a sign on my right. Now, I'm going to go back and have a look at it. Going to go down this little Britannia Road thingy and read it from here. So it's visible for people coming off the Curly Bridge. Closure for upgrade works when, where, what. Okay, that's good. I can just read it from here. 300 metres between Richmond Street and Vincent Street. There's a map. Yep, good idea. It's on a pole. It's not going anywhere. It's up high. I just wanted to have made it a little bit larger, that's all. But otherwise, that's good. What, where, when? Basic information. Good stuff. Now, of course, that's of no use to people going this way because it's side on. It's great for people coming off that bridge and coming off that path, but not for anyone actually on the path. So what I would have had somewhere along here would be a dirty great big version of that sign, 2 metres high, on a pole on the side of the path here somewhere. So people riding along here can see it. Now, the reason for doing that, they put up the variable message sign saying, go to the Main Roads website. No. I mean, yeah, you can do that, but just give us a map on site, a really, really ginormous flipper map, Go and get, look at the mattress on your bed at home and flip it up against the wall and go, yeah, I reckon a map about that size off to the side of the path would be appropriate. That'll do. That's really good. Okay, now, when I read the stuff funnily enough, on the Main Roads website, I thought this detour was already in place. I thought today I would be on the detour. Now maybe they're only doing it Monday to Friday, which would be a bit strange because that's when you get all the commuter traffic. They're not working on weekends? Nah, it doesn't make sense. Maybe they just haven't started it. Right, there's another variable message sign up ahead. Same information. I could see it for a second. Now I can't see it because it's hiding behind a tree. Now it's becoming visible again. Aha! So at this point we have the same sign on a pole with a map and PSP closed, PSP detour. There's nothing about where I am. Okay, I'll just stick a little sticker on that saying you are here, because all I know is this is a PSP, that's a suburb, that's a freeway. Where the hell I am on the map is I'm on this PSP underneath the trees. What's the closest intersection? I have no idea. Could I look up the maps on my phone? Oh, absolutely. I could probably tell where I am because there's a sports ground here to my left. I could probably figure it out. Now what I want to do is have a look at that map and see if I can work out, there's another variable message sign up there on that side road. I actually need to figure out, if I got off the PSP, where would I be going? That's a tricky bit. So, yeah, I wonder if that's the Site Works caravan they've got set up over there for project management. Got like a little depot set up over there. Yeah, good idea having a variable message sign for people coming off the side streets from suburbia. I don't know if they've got those maps and signs up as well. I don't know what this thing is about printing up signage which isn't very large. Now, down to my left down there on the path, I can see a pedestrian and cyclist sign with an arrow pointing that way. So assuming that's going to be part of the detour down there. I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to Oxford Street. I'm going to get a coffee and then I'm going to come back in the other direction because I'm guessing we're going to be detoured off here somewhere, and obviously there's another variable message sign there for people coming the other way. I'll just see if there's any more signage up here. Now, this path here, this was resurfaced a year or two ago. It's in great nick. It'll be really nice when other chunks of the path are resurfaced like this and widened to this standard. There are sections which are still pretty narrow. I'm just going to get off here. And it's great to see that the main roads are doing this kind of work and improving the existing network. You know, it's great to expand the network, but bringing the crummy old parts of the network up to modern standards is excellent. All right, back in a few minutes. Well, to my great disappointment, Cranked Cafe's closed. Looks like a permanent closure too. Oh well. Okay, PSP signage up ahead, nice and clear coming from this direction. That's well placed, good signage. Only issues, I actually went to the Main Roads website while I was trying to get a coffee to look up this particular project, and I couldn't find it. So the interesting thing is, it was there the other day when I went to it from West Cycle page, but then when I went to it then, I couldn't find it. Now, there's actually signage down there with an arrow pointing me under there, and I didn't see a map back there to tell me where this detour was going to be. There's actually another variable message sign down there to my right. Yeah, okay, same information, that's good. So from here, I don't know where the heck I'm supposed to be going, because all these variable message signs are saying go to Main Roads to find the info, and I go to the travel map and there's nothing there about the project. Oops, so did someone take it down? Did they change the dates or something and they've removed it? So I don't know if I should have jumped off back there and followed that signage, or whether that's left over from the last detour they did down this way. So what I need to do now is actually go and find one of those physical maps, have a look at it, and then work out where the heck I am and where the detour starts and finishes, and then we can actually study what this detour is going to look like. But I guess what it means is we're not going to be seeing any signage today. Right, I'm going to get off here because there's a variable message sign up this path. Never been out here before. Let's see what the placement of this one looks like and if they've put any signage up in this location. Tennis courts over there, nice warm morning for it. Okay, if I'm coming from that way, yep, good-o, nice clear sign. It's really bright. Some of these variable method signs get super faded over time. Can't read them in strong sunlight. That one's 100%, but no map. All right, so I think we've learnt something so far, that for every variable method sign, you should have at least one map as well. And I say at least one because what we've seen at these locations where they do have the maps, they're not always pointing in the most sensible direction. What you might want to do is actually put a couple of maps up pointing in a couple of different directions, so no matter where you're coming from, you can see it. All right, let's study this map. And where the heck am I? Right, I'm going to have to stop the phone and have a look at my map because I actually don't know where I am. So it turns out I'm actually at Burke Street, and so if I keep on going back the other way, at Richmond Street the PSP is supposed to be closed, and we need to... Crikey. Am I looking at this the right way? Am I looking at this upside down? Where's north? Okay, the map is upside down. I've got to flip this around in my head. Okay. Now I understand what's going on. And this is a problem when you've got the maps not orientated to the ground. I've got to rotate this thing. I feel like grabbing hold of that whole pole and just spinning it around so it's facing the other way. Yeah, the PSP along here is going to be shut. So what I would actually be doing is going up there to where the overbridge goes and crossing over, and we go around Lake Munga, and we keep going around Lake Munga until we get to Southport Street where we cross over. Right, super confusing. But let's go up here to the overbridge and go around Lake Munga and see what happens. So let's have another go at this. So there's the overbridge that I'm going to have to go across, and it'll be interesting to see what signage they put along here to warn people that this is about to shut and we need to turn off here onto this narrow path and go over this overbridge, because it's a bit of a blind corner, that one, and you have to turn left here. Whoops. And you've got to avoid that bollardy thing, and this is a rough, narrow piece of track. The alternative, if you miss that, there is this bit of gravel slash dirt here. It's grade, whoa! Obviously a shortcut used by the locals. Yeah, it's not a really good turn off. If I was doing this, first thing I would have done, right now, I would be pulling up that bollard and resurfacing this little section here and widening it and trimming back these bushes and fixing this little corner here as prep work. Okay, so that's the kind of thing you'd find on a reconnaissance, that you do all that work in the months leading up to it. Probably only, it's like a day to probably shut that down and clean that up. But that little stub of detour path there, it's not real good. And I can see people hitting that U-rail as they come around the corner, particularly since it's a blind corner. They're going to be coming down there fairly fast. You get very little warning. It's a blind turn, and remember, there's going to be bi-directional traffic. That's a nasty little piece of stuff there to put bi-directional traffic onto. Okay, so we come here, we've got another sign. Now see, interestingly there, those people were looking at a big sign for the wetlands, and that, I reckon, is about the right size to make the signage for this project. That's a good one. So if you've got anything to do with the signage for this, come down here and look at the wetland stuff, and copy that. All right, pedestrian cyclist straight ahead. Yep, that's all right. I rode around the other side of the park this morning to get here, and it was just a mayhem of people. People walking their dogs and running and all the rest of it. Great to see so many people out exercising on a Saturday morning, but sort of a place to divert a whole lot of cyclists. Hopefully, during the Monday to Friday peak hour, when you've got a truckload of cyclists trying to use this detour, this path is going to be relatively clear of people. I think what I would be doing is just to let all these pedestrians, all these walkers and runners, etc., know what's going on. I'd be putting up some really big signs saying this path is going to be used as a cycling commuter detour for a month, and to expect lots of cycle traffic. And I'd also be putting up some great big signs telling cyclists that as they're approaching pedestrians to ring their bell and just let them know that they're coming up behind them. And of course, look, they're probably not going to hear you. They're going to have headphones on. Whoa, okay, oh Jesus. So they put chicane. I'd get rid of these chicanes. Yeah, that's a bit unpleasant. Interestingly enough, what side of the road do we drive on and walk on? The left. They put all the signage up on the right-hand side. And I don't quite understand why. Look, if I was doing it, I'd put it up on both sides. Double up. Because there, for instance, it's on the right, and it's half hidden by trees. Oh, I get it. It's all double-sided. So they've decided to skimp on it by putting up double-sided signage on one side. Okay, I get that. You know, the signage, it's a reasonable size, and along here there's plenty of it. So, interestingly here, where there's nowhere you can turn off, it's like not even every 100 metres, it's closer than that, but it's like sign, 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 sign. I really like that concept. You absolutely know you're on the right path when you've got signage like that. There's no confusion. I think it's a bit of overkill when you're in a park like this and there's no paths turning off anywhere where you could possibly be confused, but then for some reason after putting all that signage in there, there's none here. Now the other thing that's interesting is this is all like bolted on. That's right, off you go. Come on, thank you. Put it up nice and high on the pole over there on the left. And it looks like good quality signage. I'll have to give it the old tap test and see if it's made out of core flute or metal. Because if it's metal, then that sounds metallic. Feels metallic. It's not plastic. Right. That's certainly spared no expense on the signage around here, that's for sure. Look, it's great. It's not the kind of dinky little cigarette packet size stuff we've seen in the past. And they've put it up at a reasonable height as well, which is great. And from here, I'm looking across the road and I can definitely see the signage over there telling me to turn left. They've used pedestrian and cyclist symbols everywhere, which is just, it's great. And then I can see, I turn left there, and then they want me to, by the look of it, when I get to the traffic lights, I need to turn left. That's Southport Street. Now what am I doing when I get across the other side? Over there behind a ute, I can actually see a sign that's pointing me straight on there. So from here, I've got a really good idea of where I'm going. I'll probably just be standing here at these lights for the next half hour. Wow, that's a fast signal. Don't know how pedestrians will get across there. All right, so I come around here. This is very clear as well. I probably would have put something on the right-hand side as well where that shrubbery is, just to make sure people are crystal clear they're going this way. And I even, ranger danger, I probably would have put another sign going straight ahead on one of these poles over here as well, just to really reinforce the message that I'm going this way. Now that sign, or those signs, they've strapped them on with metal straps and bolts, and they've even got some kind of shim on the back of the strap, I suppose, to make sure it doesn't slip sideways or slip down. They're really firmly fixed, and you know what? I just tried pulling it. No drunken idiot's going to come around and be able to turn that sign so it's facing the wrong way, or if they can, they're built like Hercules. So I would have put a sign up here saying straight on. Is this bloke going to stop for me on the crosswalk? I hope so. I have to wonder about that sometimes. Okay, straight ahead. And where am I going? Up here at the corner. So from here I can see I'm bearing right. Okay, I could see that sign in front of me when I was going over this overbridge previously. Okay, that's good. And over on the other side of the road there's a variable message sign telling me all about the project. Wonder if there's any signage up that side street. Well, there's another path back there to my left. I'm not going to bother going back and having a look at it. And I'm assuming the detour is going to finish about here. I guess. But I'm not seeing any maps or anything here. And when I look back the other way, they haven't got any. I guess when they actually put the detour in place, they'll close the path off there and put some turn left signage in. All right. Yeah, some really good points, some bad points, and I think a lot of it could have been just some really basic improvements that could be made simply by going out and riding through and doing a check like I've just done. Okay, until next time, see ya.